This beautiful cut from Quarles Farm is a sirloin tip roast, also known as a round tip roast. This cut comes from the hindquarters of the cow. It tends to be a little bit tough just because the muscle is quite large and gets worked quite often. Now this is going to just need to be cooked low and slow and seasoned quite well. So we've started off here by sprinkling some onion powder, garlic powder, Lawry's seasoning, and some fresh cracked pepper over both sides of this. We're going to rub our seasonings into the sirloin tip, and to be quite honest, when you have such delicious and quality meat as what you get at Quarles Farm, you really don't need too much seasoning, but we just wanted to add a little bit extra flavor. Now we're going to add in some beef broth as well to make sure we keep this hydrated as we cook it. And then this is going to go in our crock pot for 6 to 8 hours or until it is nice and tender and juicy. Once our roast beef is nearing the end of its cooking time, we're going to make some potatoes. And what a beautiful combo roast beef and potatoes are. And we're going to stick with that tradition, but we're going to up ours and elevate them a little bit. Today we're going to be making a cheddar horseradish mashed potatoes, and let me tell you, they are delicious. We're starting off by infusing our half and half here by adding in some bay leaves and fresh thyme. We're going to let this simmer for 15 to 20 minutes until it's reduced by half. In a separate pot here, I have some washed, peeled, and cubed russet potatoes. We are going to add enough water to cover these by about an inch, and then these are going to go on our stove. We're going to bring them to a boil, add a big pinch of salt, and then let them cook until they are fork tender. Once the potatoes are ready, we are going to drain them, and then I like to use a hand mixer for my potatoes because I think it gives it a really nice fluffy texture, but use whatever method you would like. We want to make sure that we don't have too many clumps, but we don't overwork our potato mixture. We're then going to add in 6 tablespoons of butter, 1/3 of a cup of some sour cream, and then we're going to add in our shredded cheese. Now I have white cheddar here that has a little bit of a sharp flavor to it, and then I have a mild orange cheddar. And I like the orange just because it does give this a little bit of color, but it's completely up to you if you want to use one color or the other. Finally, I added in our infused half and half, and I made sure to pour that through a strainer so that we caught the thyme and bay leaves. And then we're going to give this a mix until everything is melted and nicely combined. Now I started off by adding 2 teaspoons of our horseradish. I recommend starting lower because you can always add more. If you're someone that really likes a strong horseradish flavor, you can probably go up to 4 or 5, but start off at 2, give it a taste, see how you like it. So we mixed ours together. I did like it, but I wanted to add a touch more, so I added another teaspoon, a pinch of salt, and then some more cheese. And once this all came together, it was perfection. So we are just going to add this into a baking dish. Once we've added our potatoes into the baking dish and smoothed out the top, we're going to add, of course, just a little bit more shredded cheese. So I'm just going to make sure that the top has a really nice covering so that it gets nice and bubbly. But I'm also going to add in some breadcrumbs. I really like texture when it comes to sides and really the whole dish. And so this is going to add a really nice crunch to our potatoes. We're going to make sure that there is really good coverage over the entire top, and then this is going to go in the oven under broil until the cheese is nice and bubbly and crispy. By this point, our sirloin tip roast is ready, and look how tender it is. It is so juicy and really flavorful. So we're going to just let this cool slightly so that it's easier to slice, and then it is ready to serve. I'm going to add just a little bit of the cooking liquid over the top of our sirloin tip slices here, just so it has a little extra flavor. And then look at these mashed potatoes. These are so beautiful and have the most delicious crisp on top. We're going to serve this on the side. We're going to add some fresh cracked pepper over the top of this, and then some local fresh chives for a little bit of color and freshness. And then I'm just going to clean up the plate a little bit, add a few slices of beef, and this is ready to enjoy. These recipes show that you don't have to reinvent the wheel every night for dinner. Sometimes if you're stuck in a rut, you can make the same thing that you're used to or something that's traditional, but you can just elevate it a little bit. Head on down to the Douglas Loop Farmers Market and Lexington Farmers Market this weekend to visit the Quarles family and get your local, fresh, and most importantly, delicious beef, lamb, and goat cuts from them.